You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome all to episode 61 of Flippin' the Birds. I'm Bryan Cameron. He's Chris Infante, and we're kicking off Dallas week. Now, usually we kind of wait for the writers to come on later on. We kind of set it up that way, but this week we're going to switch it up. I mean, it's the most hyped up week for Eagles fans. I'm pretty sure for Cowboys fans as well, but right now it seems like it's going to be who's the best or the worst at this point in the season. So joining us from Blogging the Boys is RJ Ochoa. How you feeling, brother?
Doing well, guys. Always an exciting week. I'm sad, honestly. I wish it was more exciting. I feel like the Cowboys game in Philadelphia is a really special one. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we haven't gotten, the theater that it deserves in the Dak Wentz era. As you both are obviously well aware, the 2016 matchup in Philly, the Cowboys had clinched the 1 seed. Not a lot to happen there. The following year, vice versa, and then the Eagles go on to win the Super Bowl. The 2018 game in Philly, also on Sunday Night Football, Leighton, Vander, Esch's kind of coming out party. And then last year, obviously, a lot of fun for Eagles fans. But still, I mean, two games out of 5 that we're going to have here that they're just kind of, worth watching. The others, it is what it is. This is a rough year so far, to be honest.
This is very bittersweet. I mean, no Dak. Like, it kind of feels bad because, like, you feel like Eagles are going to win this one, but it's kind of like it's the Eagles of 2020, and we don't know what's going to happen.
Right. You coming into this year, you see the additions on both sides, both teams,
Mm-hmm.
The addition of quote unquote speed for the Eagles and what's there. And then we bring Darius Slay in to lock down Amari Cooper and Nickel Roby Coleman to maybe lock down the slot of CeeDee Lamb and all that. And, Jerry Jones draft CeeDee Lamb over the Eagles instead of adjusting,
I'm very bitter about that still.
I am too, but still.
I'm very bitter about that, RJ.
Like Jerry just looked at looked at his defense was like, you know what, I'm going to get back to the Eagles and draft CeeDee Lamb instead of look at all these defensive backs that could maybe help this team. But it's fine with me. But it's just, and then now we see the multitude, the myriad, the long CVS receipt of injuries on both sides of the ball. It's just like it's JVA versus JVB on both sides, except for the Eagles at quarterback. But it's like the Eagles only really have Wentz and Kelsey right now.
That's legit it.
And the Cowboys have Amari and Gallup, maybe. But it's to your point. Yeah, it's like this is our 5th year now of Eagles, Cowboys, Wentz, Dak, and it's
disappointing.
What the hell's going on this week?
No, I mean, it's a bummer in a lot of ways. And with the Cowboys, we're recording this on Tuesday night, having traded away Everson Griffin. It's kind of a white flag sort of situation. And so, I mean, it'll be fun and it'll hurt if the Cowboys lose. And but yeah, I mean, like all the juice that we thought we'd have, like you said, the CD thing, you could just kind of see CD having like a 200-yard game. That would have been kind of a really fun thing.
Why would you do that to me, RJ? Hold on. Why would you do that to me?
Well,
I just displayed my displeasure and you guys drafted him and you throw that in my face.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the fact that that's not a thing, or like on the inverse side, a lot of Cowboys fans, like we've had a lot of fun with the Jalen Hurts thing, which I know has caused you guys some consternation. But like it would have been awesome for Jalen Hurts to have this like gut-wrenching TD in you know what I mean, to like win the game. But you know what I mean? Like none of that. Like it feels a lot like Spider-Man 3. Like let's just throw in Venom, like you know what I mean, like it's just weird. But it's Cowboys Eagles.
Soccer comes in for a couple seconds and then he's gone.
Wow, he just threw Spider-Man under the bus.
Hey, I mean, we know the real Spider-Man now is Tom Holland.
I'll make you a deal, RJ. I'll trade you Jalen Hurts for CeeDee Lamb.
I will pass.
How about you need a quarterback?
How about number 47? I don't say his name. number 47 for CeeDee Lamb. I mean, I know you need linebacker help with Jalen Smith not being good, but listen, number 47, Jalen Smith, they can't be out of position at the same time, you would think.
Yeah, man. I mean, I see, like, the only solace I have in Jalen Smith right now is I feel like Jalen Smith was the reason the Eagles drafted Sidney Jones. And so
yeah, screw that red shirt year. Screw that shit.
I mean, like I'm saying, so much of this season, and it's amazing that we're not even at Halloween yet, is like the worst thing you could have imagined. I mean, you know, and it's terrible. And I mean, you know, without Dak, it's hard to watch. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to say, like you mentioned soccer. I think I've been watching the All or Nothing on Tottenham, and it's hard to be like, man, I sure would like to get through a couple more episodes of that. You know what I mean? Instead of watching this Cowboys game. But I mean, dude, I mean, like they're a get right team, and that's why I think you should be excited to play the Cowboys, because any team, any offense that plays them, like Carson's gonna look like a badass on Sunday night.
Oh, I
don't
hope
trust
so.
it.
Like,
but here's my thing though. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Chris.
You're not sorry.
I am a little sorry. Okay, I have empathy. Is it empathy or sympathy? One of those two. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. Here it is. I absolutely lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Too bad. So in your mind, you know, and coming into this season, you know, the last few years between Dak versus Wentz, Cowboys success and then not success in the playoffs and all this stuff, it was always from Cowboys Twitter, Jason Garrett is holding this team back. Jason Garrett this, Jason Garrett that. He claps too much. Haha, Giants. You got the clapper now. Haha, we got Mike McCarthy. Look what he did with Aaron Rodgers, blah, blah, blah. Was it really Jason Garrett, or what's going on there in your mind?
Well, so I'm somebody, like, I hate the clapper thing just because, like, you know, there's so much more to work with. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about, you know, the most, you know, bottom level fruit there is and like everybody claps. Like, I've never understood that, but you know,
I have never seen Jim Schwartz clap.
I've never seen Jim Schwartz clap. I've never seen him
smile either. Really.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Detroit Jim Schwartz clap. That's what happened. Everything changed. But
he wasted those claps.
I think, you know, we're learning, certainly, especially with more adversity being thrown their way, that there were a lot more problems to the Cowboys than Jason Garrett. And I think that Jason Garrett was a problem, but he certainly was not the only thing. You know, I've had some conversations with my cohort, Brandon Lee Gouton. I know he's kind of been of the mindset that a lot of Cowboys fans thought, oh, Jason Garrett's gone. Like, all of a sudden this team is full of Super Bowl talent. And I think that some of that was true. But I mean, frankly, you know, you look at the way the Cowboys are playing now, and on defense, they're really bad, right? But on defense, they're not missing Dak Prescott. On defense, you know, they're not missing this person or that person. DeMarcus Lawrence is there. We talked about Jalen Smith is there. Xavier Woods is there. Those are guys that a lot of Cowboys fans have gassed up over the years, and they do not respond well to adversity. I mean, last week, the anonymous report, you know, it's the coach's fault. You know what I mean? It's never their fault. And so
you're just lucky Josina Anderson wasn't there.
Look, Alshon Jeffrey wasn't there, you mean?
But so I think that there is, and I know this is like a vague kind of cop-out sort of term. I think there's a culture problem with the Cowboys, and I think that they don't respond well when their backs are against the wall. I do think, you know, obviously there's a lot of jokes to be made about Jason Garrett, but a hallmark of his time was that the Cowboys, and this sounds so lame and so cheesy, but they never really quit under Jason Garrett. And I think last year's first Eagles game is a really good example of that. The Cowboys had lost 3 in a row. They had just lost to the Jets. Everybody thought, okay, this is where the team falls apart, and they come out and kick the Eagles' ass 37-10. And so it's okay. They bounce back, they clap back, whatever you want to call it. And then they ultimately quit and kind of folded themselves on Thanksgiving against Buffalo and in Chicago and then later in Philadelphia. And I think some of that is still there. And I don't know if Mike McCarthy is going to have success with the Dallas Cowboys, but if he is, I think this is part of the weeding out process. I think that, you know, and I know that there are Eagles players that have kind of fit this mold. there are guys I think that just don't fit what Mike McCarthy wants to do. He's a Pennsylvania guy. He wants to work hard. He wants to get his shirt dirty. You know what I mean? And there are a lot of Cowboys players who don't feel that way. You know, a lot of people talk about the Cowboys country club sort of environment, and that's who they are. And you know, when you rough up their perfectly ironed polo shirt, you know, they pick up their ball and they go home. And so I think that Jason Garrett was a problem, but I think the overall problem is taking Mike McCarthy a little bit longer to diagnose and to ultimately treat.
So I have a question. Obviously your defense is terrible this season, but the Eagles' offensive line is also terrible. We've allowed the most pressures in the league, 84. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. We've also allowed tied for the most sacks in the league.
28 sacks.
You guys do have DeMarcus Lawrence still, and you guys just activated Vander Gregory. He played last game. I'm not sure how he did.
He played 6 snaps, which is part of the reason why I think the Cowboys traded Everson Griffin is to give him some more opportunities.
I see. I mentioned earlier during the chat. Just want to put that out there, Chris. How do you feel this defense will fare against our weak offensive line? I mean, like Chris mentioned before, it's just Jason Kelce. Even though Jordan Mailata is thriving, the rest is kind of,
you know, future Hall of Famer Jordan Mailata.
Future Hall of Famer. Let's clarify that.
I'll answer that like this. The Cowboys played the Giants in Week 4. That was their last win, the game that Dak Prescott got hurt. Entering that game, the New York Giants offense had 3 touchdowns, like on the year in 4 whole games. And they had 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys. You know, and that's who they are, man. I know, and I'm troubled at how this Cowboys-Eagles game feels, because it feels like we're all just saying that these teams are trash. You know what I mean? Like it's the most opposite of trash talking that you could ever have in a Cowboys-Eagos game. And it's like, no, we suck more. No, we suck more. And
well, we have this injury, and you don't have that injury. You know?
But you know, like, and maybe, you know, maybe this falls on deaf ears with Eagles fans, but I know the Eagles only have Carson Wentz and Jason Kelce, but I think it's friggin' impressive how Doug Peterson rallied back against the Baltimore Ravens. I know they didn't win that game, and maybe you want to throw some like garbage time discussion out, but you know, that's more than the Cowboys have done, and they beat the Giants, and I know it's a bad team and whatever, but that is, you know, this season for the Cowboys is 2015 all over again, which were some dark days for the Eagles as well. Tony Romo goes down, and they went 1-11 in games without Tony Romo, and the Cowboys are built that way. I mean, they don't know how to deal with any level of adversity. And I know that there are Eagles fans who hate Doug Peterson too, for whatever reason I can't imagine. But that's a team that understands how to dig in. And again, these are all like varsity blues terms, but how to fight and how to get it done. And the Cowboys don't. And so if that's what this game is about, right? Like, okay, we're all beat up, we're all injured. So who wants it more, so to speak? I believe the Eagles want it more because they've shown that before.
So I have a question. I mean, I know we have you for limited time, so I'm going to try to crunch everything in. Carson,
how are you going to say crunch everything in? That take forever to answer.
You know what it is? I want to question it right. Carson Wentz, how do you actually view going against Carson Wentz at this point in his career? I mean, I know he's missed 2 seasons in per se, but the kid he played 16 games last season. He's played, you know, all the games this season. He's gotten hit in more than 50 times.
It's like he's playing in traffic at this point. He's essentially playing in traffic.
I mean, like, we've all made the same jokes, right? Like about the same things, you know, back and forth, whatever. And all of the jokes aside, I firmly believe that Dak Prescott is a superior quarterback to Carson Wentz, right? Like that's the first conversation that people have. And however, I feel so badly for Carson Wentz, and I don't mean that in a joking way. I think that nobody has ever had to deal with the psychological elements that he has, with the Nick Foles factor, which is well chronicled. And I do think, you know, you can say like Jalen Hurts was the best player available. You know, we value him, whatever. Like, who cares? Like, if I'm gonna do one thing to like, if I'm gonna go out of my way for one player on my team, it's gonna be my franchise quarterback, who I've invested all of this in. And I don't. Yeah, I don't feel like the Eagles truly. I mean, like, this sounds lame again. Like, I don't feel like they truly love Carson. Like, I feel like it's. I think that there's and Howie. I think a lot of Howie Roseman, and I know that there's some souring going on with him too. But I find that move perplexing. And I also find the move, like, I hate any time the Saints give Taysom Hill the ball. Like, dude, you have Drew Brees. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I feel the same way with Carson Wentz. And they've done so much to damage his psyche. Some of it was accidental, obviously his own injury and whatnot. But I think Carson is certainly capable of being an elite quarterback with a team that supports him. And the other thing is, like, his, you've got a Zach Ertz jersey behind you. That's like his top guy. And that's the dude the Eagles are playing the most difficult ball with. It's like, man, it feels like they're going out of their way to ruin Carson, which is unfortunate.
I'm glad you said that. And Chris, you made a lot of faces. I'm very curious as to what you're going to say.
I make a lot of faces, period. But yeah,
I'm curious. How do y'all view Dak Wentz? Like that because that's one page of the whole chapter.
I'll be honest. I love Dak as a player, but I don't view him as a superior quarterback.
Dak is one of those players that you hate, that you want him to succeed.
Yes,
because he's on your least favorite team ever.
I kind of wish you guys extended him before all this happened.
Next year when he leaves you guys and goes to the Colts, I
personally think he goes to the Giants.
Giants.
Why not? Jason Garrett, Daniel Jones isn't looking too hot.
I mean, whatever, but I think the Colts are a good fit for him.
But is he better than Carson?
Absolutely not. I'll say it's right off the bat. Absolutely not.
You know what it is like. I think Wentz gets a slight edge just because I know we have all these different metrics out there that clearly favor Dak. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of stuff.
As long as you said that, I'm okay with
it. I'm not trying to argue what's out there already on the screens and in the stats and calculate all that. But I think when it comes down to it, we've seen Carson do more with a lot less. Mm-hmm. And then when we've seen Dak before the Amari Cooper trade, he wasn't great. And and those games where Zeke was at his peak, when Zeke wasn't in those games, when Dak was counted on, didn't really do all that great. And when Zeke is in, and they send the first for Cooper, that clearly has worked out. At the time, everybody was like, "Well, why are you going to do that?" But hindsight's 2020, and it clearly has worked out. And now he has Gallup. Well, not right now, obviously, but Gallup and Lamb, and then all this coming to the season, it was the trio, like the three-headed monster, and then you just have Jarwin coming, an up-and-coming tight end. Like it's all these different things. And Carson's, has a help wanted sign outside of Walmart. Like, hey, I need some players over here, and he's been putting up numbers. So
one of his main receivers used to be a quarterback in college. Like that's
like his number one wide receiver was a former quarterback in Houston.
No, I agree and that's why I feel so badly for him. Like I would love to see this kind of be, because it has felt like this tilted fight every time it's happened, right? Like and so that is unfortunate. I'm curious, and I don't mean to hijack your show. But let's say, and like a week ago, I was asking this question about the Cowboys, but I mean those hopes have certainly been demolished. But if the Eagles don't win the division this year, because there's, I mean, like whatever we think about Dak and Wentz, we all agree that the Cowboys and Dak are the greatest threat to the Eagles' NFC East title hopes, right?
I don't think anybody who actually watched football agreed that this was Cowboys Eagles this year.
Sure.
It was an upcoming Washington Giants suck or whatever.
If the Eagles don't win the division, then with the Dak factor and with the Cowboys collapsing, what's the move? Is Howie gone? Is Doug gone?
I think
it's not. You don't get rid of the franchise.
I think before they're gone, the city of Philadelphia will burn.
And there'll be an apocalypse.
And then once the fire extinguishers are out, I think. And unfortunately, I hate when people, when I say people need to lose their job, except for Jim Schwartz. I think the coaches go before Howie, just because I think just having a feeling and talking to people who know what's going on, like Howie's Lurie's boy. Howie is Jeff Lurie's boy, and he's been with the team for a long time, since like 2000.
But I also think everybody goes before Carson goes.
And Carson's there. Like Carson,
that's not my view. I think Doug has the longest leash. Like that's how I view it from afar.
I think coaches aspect, Doug is the last to leave. Well, in the coaches, I think Jim is definitely the first coach to leave. Like that defense is absolutely garbage. Like
Chris has been vouching for Jim Schwartz to be fired since last season.
The fact that number 47 continues to get 90-something% of the snaps every damn week, after we've seen Chase Claypool do the best game in the world. We've seen Logan Thomas, former quarterback Logan Thomas, do really good. Tyler Higbee, we saw
Logan
George
Thomas
Kittle.
Posterized Jalen Smith if it makes you feel
There
better.
we go.
Again.
See, Jalen Smith and number
What
47 are
happened
the
to
same
Jalen Smith though?
person.
Like that's my question. Like this kid used to be elite. What the hell happened?
See, I would disagree with that. I would. So this is a really bold and revisionist history sort of take.
Okay.
But so in 2018, the Cowboys go to Philadelphia. We mentioned this on Sunday Night Football.
Mhm.
Leighton Vander is kind of coming out party. Zeke hurdles, whatever. And the Cowboys rip off 5 in a row. They also beat the Eagles in overtime at AT&T Stadium because of the tip ball and everything. This is an off-season article I'm definitely going to write.
Okay.
That 5-game winning streak was so detrimental to the Cowboys with hindsight as a benefit, because that 5-game winning streak bought Jason Garrett another season, which obviously, delayed the inevitable. And that 5-game winning streak convinced the Cowboys that Leighton Vander was elite, and he was certainly, but he's obviously injury prone. And that also convinced the Cowboys that Jalen Smith was worth handing a contract extension early on, which they did a few months later before the 2019 season began. And so that just kind of, and I think that they, the Cowboys certainly, I think, flubbed, and I think would admit they flubbed in not paying Byron Jones. And I think that 2018 season convinced them that linebacking core was the heart of their defense. And it really, I don't think they ever were elite. I think they caught lightning in a bottle for a short run, and that was it.
I felt like they were elite. Like I was scared to go against Jalen Smith and Lee Vander Esch. Like that's just.
Jalen Smith has speed. He can get there. Like he can get to someone. But like that's like before you came on, I was telling Brian, like QB wins is such an empty stat, such a fake stat. We all know this, and this is one of the stats that people like to throw on with the Dak versus Wentz thing. Dak has won this many, Wentz has won this many, not putting in the defense in it. But like tackles are such an empty stat.
Oh, dude.
It's such a stupid stat because Jalen Smith is number 1 in tackles in the league, and number 47 is number 16. Like he has, and I have it right here. Number 47 he has 57 tackles. Only 32 of them are solo. And same thing with Jalen Smith. Out of his 75 tackles, only 39 are solo. Like so they're just cleaning up. They're like that guy that it's a group of people and they're jumping someone.
They just show up when it's convenient.
And then they get the last kick in the end so they could get some credit. And then that's like, what it is.
They're like the bread when you go to a restaurant. You know what I mean? Like it's like part of the meal. You know what I mean? But like you didn't order it. Yeah.
So, this is free. Thanks. Like yeah.
I like the bread when I go out to a restaurant.
Here.
I do like the bread.
I mean, it depends on the restaurant. Red Lobster biscuits, though. Red Lobster.
Sure. Bonefish Grill has that nice the oil that goes with the bread.
I don't
Texas
know.
Roadhouse has the cinnamon butter that you go to.
Yes, they do. I don't know if either of you have gone to the restaurant Noches de Colombia. They have a pan de bono.
Yes.
Oh my God.
RJ, where are you located at? If you don't mind asking.
I live in South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley. Anybody that's heard of McAllen, Texas, it's south. I used to live in San Antonio. I mean, right near the Mexican border, and so that's where I live.
I went to Frisco one time. It was phenomenal out there. I mean,
I went to Fort Worth one time. I went to Fort Worth on a layover overnight from Cabo back home, and I had the best barbecue I've ever had.
They have really freaking good food out there. Like it's so fresh, and it's just.
I did not wear any Eagles gear.
It is very good. It's a great state. They just picked the wrong team. That's all it is.
I just didn't want to die out there wearing Eagles gear. I did stop off at AT&T Stadium and take a customary picture of giving it the finger. But
can I confess something?
No.
Sure.
I went to a tour at AT&T Stadium with my wife's cousin, who's actually a Cowboys fan, who actually will be in my home to watch the Cowboys game, and I did the TO on the star.
I think that's cool. I'm a huge this sounds like I love the Eagles. Like I'm a huge NFL fan.
Okay.
My dad and I typically every year, obviously not this year, we go to one Cowboys road game, and then our goal is to see the whole NFL. I think we're probably saving Philly for last, because it happens every year too. You know what I mean? And so, but the Eagles' history is so awesome, and it's such a bummer how awesome their uniforms are. Like everything about them is cool, which makes hating them, just more fun, I guess. But that's like I don't know. Like I'm 31, and like
Hey, me
Cowboys.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
Cowboys Giants isn't this like this thing, right? Like in our formative like adulthood years, like
Mhm.
oh cool, like whatever, like Cowboys Washington isn't this thing. Like Cowboys Eagles is a lot of fun, and
I'm glad
it's a different
I
thing.
missed that finally. Like
Uh,
that's the grand finale. Like Eagles and Cowboys is everything.
it's every
Well,
year, no
dude,
matter
like
what's going on.
think about like 2 years ago, Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins are drafted in like the same like hour by division rivals, and it's like nothing. Like nobody
Mhm.
cared. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like and like when the Dak Wentz thing happened, it was obviously this like mega thing, and I don't know. I find that interesting. But yeah, like and that's what I actually feel very badly for both of our franchises, although mostly mine. Like people talk all the time about how the Patriots had such an easy schedule, like blah blah. Like, dude, the NFC East has been terrible. You know what I mean? Like it is embarrassing that there's only one, or I guess two Super Bowls to come from this division over the last decade because of how easy it was to win.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's true. I'm glad that we're one of those Super Bowls. And just to reiterate our stupid kid to come in and on the jumping thing, Jalen Smith leads the league in assisted tackles, 36. Number 47 is sixth with 25.
There are
Lord.
very few things that Cowboys fans are united in right now, and one of them is that Jalen Smith has got to go. I mean, it's and I like to be clear, and I'm sure you'll agree, he's an incredible story. And the fact that he is even
100%.
playing, yeah, like the fact that he's playing football that we're capable of bitching about is incredible, right?
Mhm.
And that aside, who he is as a player now and the contract the Cowboys gave him, he's one of the worst
Right.
linebackers in the NFL. Like that's the reality of it.
That's the kind of fan that I hate. Like we both sides, Cowboys, Eagles, actually the whole NFL Twitter, every fan base. There are people that can really just separate the player and the person.
Mhm.
Like we hate you as a player, great person, great, awesome, but get off my team, please.
Sure.
Like that's Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar, pretty much again last year's Cowboys game and in October, he had his little T-Rex arms to just like this, like I missed it, and he checked out the rest of the year. His knee got hurt, on the Patriots game, and now
He
he's
was done. I
balling.
mean, he
Now
knew
he's
his contract
balling out in
was.
Las Vegas,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Oh, turn away, Eagles fans." No, we don't need to turn away because he was shit here. Like he was shit. Great for him. He's happy. Awesome. Fantastic. He just sucked here. And it's like Sidney Jones, Rasul Douglas, balling out elsewhere. Great.
Carson Wentz, right? No, same thing.
Hey, whoa. You just threw that in there. Okay, RJ. So I know you're cut for time.
Dak Prescott next year on the Colts.
I mean, he'll have a better linebacker behind him with Darius Leonard. I mean,
Darius Leonard, and he'll have better protection up front.
He'll also have a better defensive coach that the Cowboys let walk in that Eberflus. So good times. Everything's good. Nobody's upset about anything.
They do have to make sure this Colts defensive coordinators don't put Tabasco in their eyes.
Yeah, that's a very that comes with a contract.
See, but like that's the kind of thing like you talk about like the way fans are. Like if the Cowboys are 6-1, that shit's hilarious, right? Yes. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, and you're making T-shirts out of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really fun thing. But like when your season is awful, it's like you idiot. You know, it's an like, amazing thing. Yeah.
It's like it could be two different sayings. If you're really good, it's like the defense is not the only thing that's hot, so something like that. And now, even Nolan's eyes getting burned, like the defense right now. So it's like. I mean, but that's stupid, man. Like, what? Like, come on. Like,
yeah, that's pretty bad. But RJ,
I hope it's just not. I just really hope it's not bad Tabasco. Like, if you're wasting away on bad Tabasco.
You mean like 99 cents Tabasco?
Yeah, like
New Jersey Tabasco.
I'm more of a Cholula guy. Ultimately,
I have sweet mango Cholula in my fridge right now.
Oh, that sounds phenomenal.
That sounds good.
That sounds really freaking.
I have sriracha in my fridge. We're a big hot sauce.
Oh,
people.
good lord.
We're big hot. Like that show Hot Ones or whatever it's called. I want to be on that so bad because I just love hot sauce. Every time I go to a beer fest,
my wife is obsessed with spice foods.
Every time, because I'm Puerto Rican, man. It's just shit. Come on.
I get bad acid, man.
Every time we go to a beer fest around here, they always have a hot sauce station. We always leave with like 3 or 4 bottles of like ghost pepper, sweet habanero.
Sweet habanero.
God, it's fantastic.
Okay, enough with the hot sauce. RJ, give me the hot take. Your bold prediction for Sunday.
Plus matchup to watch, please.
Plus matchup to watch, yes.
So at the time that we're talking, it's unknown who's going to play quarterback for the Cowboys. I don't think they'll start Ben DiNucci.
By the way,
rookie.
now you know how it feels, right? Can we just put it out there? Now you know how it feels?
Again, we just went through this 5 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that long ago.
I don't want to hear it, RJ. You guys gave us crap about Carson, okay? You gave us crap about Carson not too long ago.
So if Dalton doesn't clear concussion, you still don't think DiNucci starts?
I don't think they'll start him because I mean he's a rookie. You know what I mean? Like a 7th round rookie from James Madison. And so I think they'll start. In case any Eagles fan was unaware, the Cowboys did take or claim Garrett Gilbert off of the Cleveland Browns.
I was waiting for you to say Clayton Thorson again, just for
no, good times though.
Good times.
So I think they would start Garrett Gilbert. Just he's the veteran. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he's the guy you know that's the move you make. But I mean honestly, I really don't know at this point. But I mean in terms of prediction, I don't see how the Cowboys are in this at all. I mean, I truly don't. And I do think this is a group that not only has quit, but finds new and innovative ways to quit. And it sounds like a joke and it sounds like a punchline, but I think I think other teams smell blood in the water. I think Philly's really good at that in general. I think that's a part of the Eagles culture. And I think they'll shove the Cowboys around, and I don't think the Cowboys have – like, remember in 2014 before the Sunday night game with Mark Sanchez, like, there was some pushing and shoving. Like Dez was the dude who, like, got in that for the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys don't have that right now. They just don't. And, you know, maybe somebody, you know, gets feisty for a minute, but then they'll get punched in the mouth themselves, and I think the Cowboys will bend. And I think the Eagles will score a variety of ways. I think Carson will look amazing. I think that Eagles might even score a defensive touchdown. I think that's just kind of who the Cowboys are at this point. The Cowboys' offensive line is awful. I mean, just that, maybe Zach Martin plays, and maybe that helps. But, I mean, the Cowboys have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. They have probably the worst defense in the NFL. They have, if we're assuming Garrett Gilbert or Ben DiNucci plays, one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. So I mean, bold prediction, CeeDee Lamb doesn't even break. If you told me the over under on CeeDee catches was 1.5, I'd take the under. And so
1.5.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad, dude. I mean, like the Cowboys, since Dak Prescott got hurt, he got hurt on that drive against the Giants, and they finished that drive off with a touchdown. Good for them. They went and kicked a game-winning field goal against the New York Giants. Those are the only points they got independent of Dak in that Giants game. They scored 10 measly points against the Arizona Cardinals, 7 of which kind of came in garbage time. And they mustered 3 points against a Washington team that is pretty bad, but looked like heroes against them. So I don't think the Cowboys break double digits. I think this is a more embarrassing loss for the Cowboys to the Eagles than the 2017 game at AT&T Stadium, which was really bad.
The 44-6 game?
No, that was 08.
That was way back in college.
Damn, that was a lot of years ago.
That was 12 years ago. Huh?
That Eagles game in 2017, that was the Jay Ajayi game and everything.
When he didn't break that touchdown.
That happened 1 week after the Chaz Green game for the Cowboys. And it was 1 week also before Thanksgiving. And that Falcons game, that Eagles game, and that Chargers game on Thanksgiving, that was the first time in Dallas Cowboys history that they scored in the single digits in 3 consecutive games. And they're on pace for that right now, having scored 3 points against Washington. I don't think they break double digits in Philly.
Interesting. So what I want to take away from all that is that you said Carson Wentz is amazing. That's what I took from you.
I'll go a step further. I think Jalen Hurts throws a touchdown in this game.
Stop that, RJ. Don't you do that to me.
Stop.
Why would you do that, RJ?
No, but in garbage time.
In garbage time, okay.
That's the only way the Cowboys control the Eagles is they just lose so badly that they let Jalen Hurts get in the game, and then Jalen looks awesome, and then next week every Eagles fan is like, dude, Jalen threw that awesome touchdown. And like, see, that's the only way to get this done. I knew you had an ulterior motive. I knew it. It's a Trojan horse sort of thing. You got to get in and then attack.
No, don't do that to us, RJ.
Did you know last week Andy Dalton had the third worst completed air yards in last
week? But he's the best quarterback in the NFC.
He completed an average of 4.2.
I have one more question for you guys as outsiders. What did you make of no Cowboys players getting in John Bostic's face for him and Andy Dalton.
That's kind of wild to me.
That immediately reminded me of the Nick Foles hit against Washington.
When Jason Peters ran after him.
When Jason Peters came out and just slammed the Washington player. Like, the fact that no one – I don't care how you feel about the player of the coach. Like, that's your quarterback right
Even
there.
Jordan Mailata against the Ravens, like, threw that –
Jordan Mailata.
He threw that guy down for an interception.
Beat someone to oblivion. But, like, the fact that line, like that's telling. That's really telling of how they feel. Like, did Andy Dalton like put his red hair in someone's drink or something? Because I feel like I don't think you should care who the coach is. That's still your quarterback. Like he got slammed on a dirty hit, and you just stand there like, oh, too bad.
I agree with y'all, and that's the team the Eagles are getting. You know what I mean? And getting it home, getting off a week and a half, coming off the mini bye. You know what I mean? Like when the Cowboys quit, things get bad. And I do. There are two reasons I believe in Mike McCarthy. If you want those takeaways, one is the fact that he went for 2 when he did against Atlanta. I know that was a big debate across NFL circles. And 2, the fact that he called out the Cowboys players for not defending Andy
That was
Dalton.
bold. I respected that on a whole different level.
The Cowboys haven't had a guy like that in charge in a while, and I'm hopeful that someday Mike McCarthy's process will obviously take hold, and we'll look back at 2020 and say that was Mike McCarthy weeding out the guys that didn't fit his culture.
I'm buying that. But RJ, for the people who don't know of you, I mean, where can they find you on Twitter or wherever else?
Where can they troll you? Where can?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at RJ Ochoa. I obviously run bloggingtheboys.com, SB Nation's Dallas Cowboys site. So I believe I'm also jumping on BGN Radio later this week. So I think I've graced some Eagles fans audio circles before. I will say this.
Can we clear something up? Are you the one behind the tweets on Blogging the Boys?
There's a lot of room for interpretation on that. We've got to keep some things ambiguous.
Because some of these tweets that come after us,
I will say I really do appreciate the Eagles fans and have a respect for them because there is a fight, and it should be that, right? Like it should be this hate for one another. And I thought the way Eagles fans responded when Dak Prescott got hurt was really respectable. And it should be that too, right? Like it should be this moment of, hey, you know what, this sucks. Like, and I certainly appreciate that Eagles fans particularly can empathize with that. But yeah, I've said this before. If I was you, I would have said like 10 more times that the Eagles won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. You know what I mean? Like that should be something you say every day. Like that's freaking awesome. And you should rub it in. Like anytime, like it's like, man, I don't know about Zach Ertz. You should be like, well, he won a Super Bowl. You know, like that, I would say that all the time. Yeah,
my sister is coming up on her 25th birthday in December. She was born the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Think about this. John Elway didn't have a Super Bowl of any kind when the Cowboys last won a Super Bowl. And like he won 2 himself as a player, and then he retired, and then he went in the Hall of Fame, and then he started a whole new career as a general manager, and then he like ascended to the top of that profession, and then he literally built his own team that won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, Marvin Harrison was in college.
Blockbuster was actually still open, if I'm not mistaken.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
I wonder what the price of gas was back then.
Probably like $1.
It was a lot more affordable. I can certainly say that.
But RJ, man, we don't want to keep you much longer.
$1.15.
$1.15, really?
Damn.
Seriously?
$1.15.
I would give anything for $1.15. I might give you up, honestly. RJ, thank you for coming on, man. Thank you for blessing us with your time. Like I said, we know you have other things to do, so thank you so much for coming on. And hopefully in the future, I mean, we do have another game, so hopefully we can bring you back on.
Appreciate it, guys. Anytime. I hope you have a great rest of the season. I hope the Eagles win the NFC East and end up with the 19th overall pick or something, and then just get blasted by the Saints in the first round.
Wow.
But
by the Saints,
it's going to be.
I hate the Saints more than I hate the Cowboys. You can't do that.
Oh my God! I hope it's by the Bears. I hadn't even thought about that.
Why would you put that in his head?
Oh my gosh, that would be incredible. Oh my God!
Can you imagine the chaos that would happen if Nick Foles came to Philly.
Oh my Lord! Please
to
don't do
beat
that.
Wentz in the playoffs. The chaos that would ensue, I think
It's probably the same amount of chaos that would ensue if the Giants signed Dak Prescott.
I would probably have to delete Twitter.
I hope it happens in a way where like it's like a 16-3 win, and one of those is like a defensive touchdown. You know, like I hope Foles does like nothing. You know what I mean? Because like even then, every Eagles fan would be like, Foles beat us, and you
Foles,
guys would be like, he was trash.
Foles can go 0 for 25 with
the
10
Folians will
sacks,
still come out. They'll still come out,
and it could be Khalil Mack with 3 defensive touchdowns, and against like maybe fumbles off of the wide receivers. Not even Wentz's fault. Wentz could go 25 for 25, and all fumbles from the receivers, and Khalil Mack takes them all, and nope. Carson Wentz sucks.
Yeah,
I hope this happens.
That's the thing now.
So badly.
Like the Eagles,
RJ, if that happens, we're gonna have you on the podcast before the Bears and Eagles game. I want you to know that you're coming on the podcast just for that.
I mean, dude, it's you guys just wrote it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, oh my!
No, you guys,
gosh.
too many people. Chris just wrote it. I didn't say a damn thing.
The Eagles defense have given up 11 touchdowns this year on third down. That's the most. That's the most in the league. But let's say Carson Wentz's fault. Yeah, sure.
Stop the Gary takes, please.
Sure. I'm just saying.
I'd rather have Jalen Smith. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
hey, we'll trade you Jalen for.
You can have number 47.
I'll trade you Jalen for Jalen. How about that?
I would take that trade.
Well, it doesn't hurt, right?
I would do that.
we have three different Jalen's.
Yeah, we have too many.
That's true.
We'll give you a.
We'll give you Jalen those.
Wow, looking forward to Bears at Philly wildcard weekend, 16-3. It's gonna be incredible.
I need you to be available for that weekend.
Oh,
okay?
I will move heaven and earth. I'll be on every day. I'll live stream us throughout the whole thing. It'll be great.
All right, RJ. Thank you so much for coming on, man. It's truly a blessing, man.
Thank you, RJ. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, guys. Let me know when it's out.
Gotcha.
Definitely.
Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. All right, so that was RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys. So now let's talk Eagles, just straight Eagles. We're not that great. Only I can really say.
But you know what can be great is you downstairs. You downstairs. You make sure you go to manscape.com, use promo code FTB at checkout, 20% off, free shipping. Make sure the downstairs looks great because right now our team doesn't look that great.
3.0. Is it
Lawnmower
3.0?
3.0.
3.0, yes.
Just like we're about to win the division with practice squads 3.0.
3.0 literally.
We've done it 3 times now. So practice squad players for the division 3.0, but still our team sucks. But anyways, that offensive line, that protection for Carson Wentz isn't great. Make sure your protection down there is better.
I'm not gonna it's very important. If you guys don't get how important it is, like I feel bad for you, honestly.
Come on. Like if you let that thing grow out, you might get caught in a zipper or something.
You must be like married or in like a very dysfunctional relationship. I'm not gonna lie. I might call it out like that.
Or you might be on a you might be on a dry spell. If you letting the things go all you might be like, listen, no one's going down there anytime soon, so I'm just gonna let it grow out. But you never know what happens. It only takes one time.
Though.
It only
very
takes
depressing.
one time. So make sure before you go out, make sure everything down there is protected and looks good. So just in case someone makes a trip, they're like, wow, you must Manscape. So, but make sure they say, yeah, brought to you by Flippin the Birds. So go to manscape.com, FTB at checkout, 20% off, free shipping. That's it.
All right, so let's talk about some more Eagles. So the Eagles did take down the Giants. Sorry about that. But there's a lot of bad to kind of take away from it in my point of view. I mean, let's talk about defense real quick. The Eagles defense only had 3 sacks, and it was Gary, Brandon Graham.
His sack was that.
It wasn't. It shouldn't be counted, but it is counted. You know how it is, man. It's Paul politics. But here's my thing. Where's Fletcher Cox this season? He has 1.5 sacks. He has only 8 pressures compared to his counterpart Aaron Donald, who has 8 sacks and 20 pressures. Where the hell is Fletcher Cox?
Aaron Donald on the season has 8 sacks, 22 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 15 quarterback hits. His 8 sacks are from the defensive tackle position, are second in the league out of anybody to Myles Garrett. His 22 tackles are tied for first among defensive linemen. His quarterback hits are first, tied for first with TJ Watt, but among defensive linemen, he's first, right before Myles Garrett and Stephon Tuitt. Fletcher Cox.
How much is Aaron Donald getting paid per year, if you don't mind asking?
A lot.
More than Fletch?
Way more than Fletch.
But my thing with Fletch, you're getting paid over $20 million. And I'm sorry to whoever's listening to this, because I know you guys can say, yeah, he's doing much more. But look, the fact of the matter is this. You don't pay Carson Wentz to just run the ball all day long. You pay Carson Wentz to throw the ball, to sling it all around, throw touchdowns. So you pay Fletcher Cox to get stats, get numbers.
To be a home wrecker on the field, not just a home wrecker off the field.
I forgot about that. Yes, Chris has a very valid point, guys.
Because he's very adept at wrecking homes off the field. But on the field, not so much. Aaron Donald, in 2018, signed a 6-year, $135 million contract.
Okay.
Fletcher Cox, in 2016, signed a 6-year, $102.6 million contract. So he's being paid a lot less than Aaron Donald, and deservedly so.
Absolutely,
Aaron Donald is fucking Hercules.
He's wrecking it. Like, when offenses are prepared, like, the first person to think about is Aaron Donald. And I fearfully think that when offenses...
Except for the Eagles.
When offenses prepare against the Eagles, they don't think Fletcher Cox. They think it's a great defensive line.
Yeah, it's
Fletcher. It's a great defensive group.
And on the same wavelength, that's Javon Hargrave as well. Like,
what's going on with him? I mean, it's been a couple games in. Like,
right now, we have 2 of the top paid defensive linemen. Like, let's do average annual value. Okay, now, among defensive tackles, I'm going to go to defensive tackle right now. So among defensive tackles, Aaron Donald has the highest average annual value at $22.5 million a year. DeForest Buckner is at 21. Chris Jones is at 20. Fletch is down at number 5 at $17.1 million a year. Going down to Javon Hargrave, $13 million a year. So you have 1, 2, 3. You have number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have number 5
Jackson,
and number 12, most highest paid per year. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then you have the 18th highest at $10 million a year in Malik Jackson.
So you have 3 of the top 20.
So you have so many dollars tied up in the defensive tackle position. And right now, the only one who's showing up is Malik Jackson.
Absolutely. But
Malik
he's
Jackson
down.
He's down. Right, he's down. And even though he's been down, he's only played 6 games so far. He's not going to play this week. But 6 games, he still has more tackles for loss than Brandon Graham. And Brandon Graham is having a phenomenal year.
Correct.
So that's how great Malik Jackson was in the first 6 games. So now we're like, what's going on with the tackle position? And to be completely honest, if they can't dominate a Dallas offensive line that really, really sucks.
Well, they didn't dominate a Giants defensive line. That's offensive line. My apologies. Like, you didn't dominate the game. You should have.
Yeah. So I don't get it. I don't know what else there needs to be because
Wayne Gallman was bursting through the line like there was no tomorrow. Like,
right, Wayne Gallman. Like, that's the thing. Like, Wayne Gallman looked like it really looked like he was about to run for like 200 yards, but he only was averaging like 3 point something. But it seemed like that was more the Giants' offensive line not being really good, and the defensive line, Eagles' defensive line being really good. But it's like, at what point do the Eagles can say we have the best defensive tackle group? Because right now
they don't.
They don't.
Our person, I'll vouch that.
I don't know. Like, it can't be just Brandon Graham.
And Brandon Graham is what, 32 years old, if I'm not mistaken, or going on 33.
32 or 33.
He's having a 32 season of his career.
Yep, he's well on his way to having the best season of his career. He has 6 sacks right now. He's 3.5 away from tying his career high back in 2017.
You know what? I'm going to say Josh Sweat is actually having a better season than Fletcher Cox.
Probably.
And he's with limited snaps because of his knee.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality. That's the poor reality of this defensive line that should be elite. Like, this is where all the money is. So to not dominate the Giants, like, that's what makes me fearful about the Cowboys game.
Yeah, Zeke is averaging 60-something yards a game,
Mm-hmm.
64 yards a game. Well below his career
Yes.
average. Like, this is a really bad time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles are on the flip side, Dallas is letting up 178.5 rushing yards per game.
We don't have a running back though.
Yeah, that's the thing. But the Eagles are allowing 100 and change, so Zeke is only averaging 160 something. Dude, he's due for a 100-yard game.
So start him in your fantasy leagues.
And start whoever they're having a tight end.
Absolutely, yeah.
Who's
taking me, Jarwin?
No, Jarwin's out for the whole year. He's been out since September.
Okay.
Or it might probably CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we saw what happened in the slot guys against the Eagles.
Chase Claypool lit us up.
Yeah, so imagine what CeeDee Lamb's going to do. So we'll see. But before we go, remember I told you a beer was named after me.
You did tell me that, and I'm actually very curious, and I'm kind of mad at you. You held out this long.
So I like to say that my wife actually called it in and named it after me. So this is by Commonwealth Brewing.
Okay.
It's an IPA. It is called Papi Chulo. So Papi Chulo is one of the many beers that you can find at Tavor.com. Use our code FTB10 at checkout for $10 off after you spend $25 on craft beer. Get beer named after me, Papi Chulo, and having a great time drinking it. It's just delicious.
I was expecting Infante or something like that. Like, I was expecting something wild, but you came out with Papi Chulo. Like, you really are from the Bronx.
Right. And make sure when you don't know the time, make sure you look down at beautiful watches from LaTourine.com. LA-TOURINE.com. Same code as Tavor, FTB10, 10% off all watches. Where next week, our next episode is going to be in November. It's Christmas time.
It's already.
Christmas shopping. Shopping. Go to LaTourine.com. Look at the watches. Use FTB10, 10% off. They have a great, beautiful watches. Beautiful. So make sure your wrist looks good while you're drinking Papi Chulo. Come on, just use our codes. It's easy.
It's very, very simple. FTB 10 or FTB just straight. So before we go, are you confident in the offense going into against a game against Dallas?
No, but I'm more confident. I'm less confident in the Cowboys defense than I am in the Eagles offense. So I think when last week he threw for 359.
Mm-hmm. Which was the most in like quite some time.
It's a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think he gets close to that. I think we have another Travis Fulgham game.
I actually think we have a Hightower game.
Probably because they really don't have anybody to.
I think Hightower has that game of his career.
Now we'll see if Jalen Reagor is back. Reagor Targaryen.
Reagor Targaryen.
We'll see. The last time Carson Wentz had a game over his game from last week, 359, was week 10 of 2018, when he had 360 yards.
Wow, so it's been 2 years.
Against Dallas.
Okay.
So I think he gets close to that mark. I think he throws for at least 3 touchdowns. We don't really have a running game. It's really Wentz right now as a running game. Boston Scott's not facing the Giants, so it doesn't look like he's going to go off on right now.
I think we're going to see a lot of 2 QB sets where Jalen Hurts is actually running back.
I think we are going to – the fact that Jalen Hurts needs to come in and do some different plays. Like Doug needs – like right now when Jalen Hurts comes in, they know what the hell's going on. Like it's you're trying to kill him at this point because they know what's going to go on. Let's split out Carson wide and then just do nothing with it, or just throw it back and forth a few times for 3 yards. It's what's happening. But hopefully – we get a little more creative. We've had 10 days to get ready. Hopefully this offensive line is a little bit more healthy coming up. Doubt it, but we'll see. But I do think I think the Eagles do win this handedly. I can't see them letting either Garrett Gilbert or Ben DiNucci kill them. We're looking at another Jets game from last year, Luke Falk game. I think the defensive line eats. I think we see Brendan Graham 2-sack game. Okay. I think we see a Josh Sweat a couple sacks here and there. Maybe we see maybe a Hargrave sighting, maybe here and there. And, I think we finally get a Darius Slay interception. I think that
we're
happens.
overdue for one at this point.
We are.
Even though he's done a phenomenal job.
No, he's fantastic.
Yes,
Everything
he's been
has been
phenomenal this
advertised.
year.
Absolutely everything has been advertised. Don't let us fool you on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think he finally gets an interception.
Can you believe we actually have an elite cornerback?
Yeah, we don't need interceptions here. We just need production, and that's what he's been producing. That's it.
So, guys, next week when you guys do tune into Flippin' the Birds, it will be post trade deadline. So
and bye
definitely,
week.
And it will be bye week. We'll be going over whatever the Eagles do go pull off, as well as what they could have pulled off, because Chris has been very good in that.
Oh yeah, it'll
field.
Next Tuesday will be the night of after the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
so we'll be covering everything that happens. We'll also be recapping the Dallas game. But thank you guys for tuning in again this week. Me and Chris greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And make sure you guys tune in next week for Flippin' the Birds.
Hope
I'm Bryan Cameron. He's Chris Infante.
Go Birds.
Yes, sir.